It's important that we recognize what we're talking about. The fiscal cliff is not talking about lowering taxes for anybody. The fiscal cliff is an event where taxes are going to go up. And so the entire question is, what's the impact of that tax hike on the very middle class that both Allison and I are interested in defending? I think that there's a very strong argument that says, look, particularly as it relates to pass-throughs, if you raise these taxes at the individual level, you've got manufacturers out in suburban Chicago that I represent, and I'm sure in suburban Philly that Allison represents, and it's going to have an adverse impact on their willingness to take on more risk, take on more employers, and to do the types of expansion that everybody recognizes is necessary. So there's a false argument that's out there that says this is somehow cutting taxes. No, it's not cutting taxes on anybody. Right now, we're trying to avert the largest tax increase in American history.
Let's
assume for the sake of argument that everything Allison has said is true. There has been historically.
Isn't it?
Oh, listen. I assume it's all true. There has historically been a reluctance on the part of both sides of the aisle to raise taxes. In other words, both sides have said, you know what, there's sort of this hand-wringing nature, and people say, let's raise taxes as a very last revenue. I mean, a very last gesture. That should be our last thing that we should do. And so, I mean, we've been challenged implicitly on the GOP side to say, all right, you don't want to raise these rates, what would you do? And that's where I think it is so important to put this in the context of the budgets that the House has passed, not once, but twice, that were authored by Paul Ryan, with very significant numbers that are coming forward. So in other words, here's the specifics, here's the details, this is the remedy, here's the way in which you do this without increasing it. The increased tax burden, at best, is a revenue sideshow. I mean, there's really nobody with a straight face that's saying raising these taxes that the president is proposing is going to close the budget gap. All it is it's Democratic Party orthodoxy that is saying we need to continue to cling to do this.